So I'm just having one of those days, and it's my second day back at work from being at ALS for like 5 weeks, and then being on TDY for about a month. So it's just like every time I come back to the shop, long story cut short, today it was really rough. It just, when I have stressful days like this, it's days like these that make me reconsider being in the military, or like re-enlisting and doing the full 20, like how that was my original plan. And I guess a part of it is just the fact that I personally hate messing up, and I hate being the cause of like shop chaos or whatever you want to call it. But I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I feel like I don't deserve the recognition I get, or the praise that I get sometimes. And I feel like I'm not that great at this job. Like, I feel like it's hard for the people in the shop, because I've heard it. I heard it. It's hard that the people who are good and who put out good work and who, go above and beyond and who are really good at this job, who don't get recognized, who don't get put up for awards, who don't get put up for TDYs and stuff. And I understand that that's hard. And I feel like it's also hard when you do get put up for those things and you feel like you don't deserve it. And I feel like for a lot of things, I feel like I don't deserve it. And maybe that's just because I feel like where I'm at in my career now, I'm not where I want to be, or where I think that I should be. And so it's hard when I get put up for things or receive praise for things and people think I'm so great, where I don't feel that. I don't feel that I'm good at this job. I don't feel like, I feel like I've been doing this for 4 years now, and I feel like I don't know. And how do they expect me to be a supervisor and a staff sergeant? And I feel like I don't know about this job. Like, I want to learn this job. I want to learn this jet as much as I possibly can. And I want to get to that place. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. And it's just like, I don't feel like I deserve to be put on a pedestal at all or praised at all, because I don't feel like I don't feel like I deserve it. There are so many other people in this shop who are way, way better than me, and I admire them. But they don't get the same kind of recognition that I do. I don't know. And it just seems like, I don't know. I don't know. I do want to be in the military. I do want to continue my job. I like my job. I do. But it's just when like little things happen like this, or like I have bad days, just, I don't know. It's like I'm trying to get where I want to be and where I feel like I need to be. But I don't know. I just, I'm very down on myself when it comes to my job because I feel like that's all I have. And if I'm not even good at that, then I don't know what else I could even see myself doing. But so far, it's just been a hard week, and I've only been back for 2 days. And there's some other factors going into it as well, but that's a topic for another day. But I'm mainly making this video because I want to look back in a year, and I'm hoping and praying that I will be in a different headspace, and in a year I will have been a staff sergeant for almost a full year this time next year. So I'm just hoping that I will be able to look back on this and there's some growth, there's some confidence there, less mishaps that happen, and hopefully an entire different mindset. I also think it's just hard that, like, I really don't have anyone to talk to here. Like, I do, but nobody who will understand, because obviously my family is not going to understand. My friends that I work with or have worked with, they're not going to understand because they're going to, I feel like they're going to see me on this pedestal of like, oh, you made staff, like you must be good, you get awards, like when you're talking about you are good at the job. But I could go talk to a therapist, but obviously they're not going to understand. I don't know. I just feel like I'm just so down on myself about this. It's really the only thing I'm insecure about. It's just, honestly, job performance. So hopefully in a year, I will have a different video to make and I can do a side-by-side and look back on this and I'll be a completely different person. That's what I'm hoping and praying for, that where I'm at in my career a year from now will be a complete 180. What is up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am officially back from a year hiatus to basically give you guys kind of an update on how this past year has been. I'm not gonna lie, I just went ahead and rewatched that video that you guys just watched and it kind of made me tear up a little bit. I kind of wanted to go ahead and make this video to address some of those issues and have you guys, like, basically give you guys an update on, did things change? Do I still feel the same way? As much as I would like to get on here and tell you guys that I was tripping for no reason in that video, you know, I was stressing for no reason, my life is completely made a 180 transition, everything's good now. As much as I would love to sit here and say that, unfortunately, this is not one of those types of videos. And like I said, I just kind of want to get on here to address a couple points in that video, and then just at the end, pretty much just give you guys where I'm at right now and my viewpoint on things and just moving forward, how I feel just moving forward. The first point that I want to address in that video was the fact that I said that I feel like I am not good at this job. I mentioned in a previous video that I basically had not worked on the jet, like on production in my shop, for like 2 years. They sent me everywhere else, to every other shop, every other like training, whatever, before I actually got to work on the F-35, before I actually got to do my actual job, right? It's April and it's April of 2023. And that's when I finally got back on production, when I'm supposed to be, you know, doing repairs and inspections and evals and, you know, shift leading and all this stuff that they're asking me to do. Mind you, I'm still a senior airman, like a senior airman that has not worked a jet yet. So I'm stressing out because I really want to do well. Like I said in that video, I take my job and my work performance very seriously. And so at this point, like I made that video 2 days after I got out of ALS and I went back to production. I was already feeling like that. And I think a lot of it honestly had to do with my shift lead at the time, who I was working under. Let me just go ahead and say the purpose of this video is not for me to bash anyone or to get anyone in trouble or to like, nothing like that. This is just me reflecting on my personal experience. But my supervisor, or my shift lead at the time, was very much, his way of teaching was sink or swim, right? Oh, you don't know that? I'm going to throw you in the deep end, sink or swim, figure it out, right? And I agreed to that teaching point to some degree, but I have this example, or I have this like metaphor that I like to use in this scenario that's basically saying, you want me to sink or swim. How am I supposed to sink or swim when I don't even know about the water, the context of the water? Is it hot or cold water? Is it, you know, a rough current, or is it calm? You know, is the water deep? Is it shallow? Is it, you know, does that make sense? Like, how am I supposed to sink or swim when you haven't even taught me what the water is, like about the water, right? So he put me in a lot of situations that was very much sink or swim. Mind you, I haven't touched the jet. I'm just now getting on production. So at this point, it's like, I'm about to be a staff sergeant, but I basically have the knowledge of what somebody straight out of tech school maybe, or maybe a tech schooler that's been on the jet for maybe 6 months, you know. So at that point, you know, I'm doing a lot of these jobs for the first, maybe second time since I've been at this base. And the mistakes that I would have been making as an A1C, as a senior airman, I'm making as a soon-to-be staff sergeant, or staff sergeant afterwards, you know. I'm making those decisions as a staff, which looks way worse than obviously making those mistakes as an airman. So, and there was a time where my shift lead ended up taking leave, and because I was the highest ranking person on that shift, I was forced to shift lead and to make calls about things that I knew nothing about. So you can only imagine my stress levels and, you know, just like the fact I had to rely heavily on the experienced senior airmen who had been on the platform a lot longer than me. They had all the knowledge just about, like, I had to rely on them, and it felt kind of goofy because I'm supposed to be the staff sergeant or whatever, and I'm going to a senior airman or an A1C for, you know, to answer my questions, you know? So that really took a toll on me for a long time. But at that point, I was determined to learn and to figure out, like, get hands-on on every single job. And, you know, just, I really wanted to learn my job. I really wanted to be, you know, a good staff sergeant. And so once I finally did so on, what do? They are like, hey, you're a staff sergeant now. Here are troops. Here are programs you have to handle. On top of me not like trying to learn my job, I'm also being taken off of jobs to go do programs and to handle like extra stuff that doesn't have anything to do with my actual job. And so that was stressful as well. And so that was also hard on me. And I didn't feel like I was getting the proper training that I needed. I felt like a lot of people just saw rank and they were like, oh, you're a staff sergeant, you should know this. And I didn't. A lot of people were coming to me for things and asking me questions, and I was having to make calls about things that I did not know. So by that point, I just started, and I don't want to say too much, but there was a toxic dynamic in our shop where there's a lot of trash talking, and it's not friendly trash talking. It's not like, you know, I'm going to trash talk you and help you. It's I'm going to talk down on you, and I'm going to belittle you and put you down if you don't know something, if, you know, you put out bad work, or like you mess something up or whatever. It was never in a productive way. Like the trash talking was not, you know, conducive to anything that we were doing. And I felt like a lot of people would do it because it made them feel better. You know, if someone's messing up and doing worse than you, chances are that person's been trash talked as well by somebody else. So to see somebody else mess up, it's like, oh, well, this person's way worse than me. Like, I'm way better. I've never messed that up, or I didn't mess that up, you know. And it got to the point where and I hate to say that, I hate to admit this, but it was happening so often, and I was seeing it happen because it happens to everybody. It was happening to everybody. Like, everybody was trash talking everybody, and it was very negative and toxic. But I hate to admit this, but I started to believe the things that people were saying about me. And at some point, it just, I felt like it really discouraged me. And I started believing that I wasn't good at this job. I wasn't, because again, they're talking trash about me, and they're like, oh, you're supposed to be this staff sergeant, and you're doing this, you're not doing this, you don't know how to do this, blah, 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 blah. And that was like an everyday thing. If I wasn't getting chastised about my work, I was getting chastised about my troops, a program I was on, you know, just like, it was just like everything. And it was never anybody that, like, the people that were trash talking, it was never anyone that was offering to help. Like, they would belittle you, and then they're not doing anything to fix the problem, which is why I think they were doing it, because essentially they're not looking for a solution. They just want to trash talk you to make themselves feel better. So for me, it's easy to say, like, all my friends would tell me, like, oh, just don't worry about it. Just who cares what they think, this and that, the third. And it's like, it's easy to say, it's easier said than done, because me and my personality, like, first of all, I care a lot. And at that time, I feel like I cared maybe way too much about, you know, pleasing others. I've been a people pleaser my whole life, which may or may not stem from, you know, childhood trauma, but that's a story for another day. But I felt like I just wanted to be good. I just wanted to be a good staff sergeant and have people talk highly of me and well of me, right? But they weren't. And at that point, there was nothing I could do about it, because I'm sitting here and I'm asking my shift lead for help. I'm saying, hey, I've never done this. Hey, I don't know how to do this. Can you teach me? And he's very much like, figure it out. But at the same time, I would see him training up like A1Cs, or like people who, you know, like, and again, like, leading back to what I was saying, like, I felt like I started to believe what these people were saying. I wasn't good at the job. I didn't know, you know, anything, what was going on. And I felt like I didn't feel like I was where I was supposed to be as a staff sergeant. I felt like all the staffs in my shop had been on the jet for a long time. They had a lot of production time, and they had the experience and the knowledge to be able to do the things that I was being placed in the position to do. Like, for instance, shift leading. I feel like there were so many other people that they could have chosen to do that, who had the capability to do so, and they chose me for whatever reason. So the second thing I want to address is the award comment. So around the time that this was before I found out that I made staff, but I had gotten put up for an award. I ended up winning this award called Falcon of the Month. We had been doing this integration period with, you know, the crew chiefs, the AMU, and I was essentially like, not necessarily shift leading, because I was still a senior airman and we had a tech sergeant on shift, but I was essentially team leading. Again, something that I knew nothing about, like jobs that I had never touched. And I ended up getting put up for an award for that, and I ended up winning. Shortly after that, that's when I found out I made staff. And then I also got put up for an incentive flight when we went TDY, but I wasn't medically cleared for it. It was like a whole thing. But anyways, part of me feeling that I didn't deserve it was because I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the skill and the experience, and I was feeling like I wasn't good at this job, and I was like, how am I getting put up for these awards? How am I, I just couldn't understand it. And I was like, I was feeling like there was, I still agree to this day that I feel like there were so many other individuals that they deserve that award a lot more than me. And I just feel like those people didn't get the recognition. And it's kind of guilt. Like I kind of felt guilty every time I would get put up for something or win something or whatever. And people that I felt were way better than me weren't getting that same kind of recognition. And then it was also like when I would get these things, like I felt like people would down talk and belittle me even more. Like, mind you, it was never to my face. None of this was ever to my face. I just got, connects in the shop, and my friends would come back and tell me these things, but nothing was ever to my face. And it was very much so, how did she get that? She doesn't even know this job. She doesn't even know this jet. Like, she hasn't even been here that long. And again, at that moment, I'm very vulnerable. Like, I'm new to this, and I'm listening to everything that these people are saying about me, and I'm starting to develop this mindset of, okay, I don't know this. I don't know these things. I'm not good at this job. Like, there's so many better people in the shop. Like, I started to believe those negative things. And from that point, I think that's when it started to, like, my downfall really began. So another point I want to address is the supervising comment, and how do they expect me to be a staff sergeant? How do they expect me to be a supervisor when I don't even know what I'm talking about? And as soon as you make staff, they start to give you troops, they make you a supervisor, and you start getting like airmen, basic, all the way through senior airmen as troops to essentially take care of, make sure they're getting trained up right. If they get in trouble, like, you're responsible for that and things like that. So as of right now, I've been a staff not even a year yet. As of right now, tell me why do I have 4 troops? They try to give me 5. My problem is they try to give me 5 troops. One individual, okay? They try to give me 5 troops at one time. And I kind of like, by this point, I'm on like 3 different programs. I already have 4 troops, and I'm just dealing with a lot, like also trying to learn this job and like everything like that, and figuring out how to be a shift lead. And it's just, I'm doing a lot. And mind you, I didn't even mention that I'm going to school. Grad school at that. Okay. So by this time, like, I have a lot going on. I think one of the breaking points was a couple months ago. My leadership was trying to assign me a 5th troop. And I kind of like just kind of spazzed, and I was like, hey, that's going to be my 5th troop. Like, what are we doing? Like, what? And somebody else was like, well, dang, why are you trying to give Sergeant Thomas, another troop, like so many responsibilities? And they followed up with, oh, because I know she can handle it. I'm sorry to say, Sergeant Thomas cannot handle it. Okay. Sergeant Thomas is overwhelmed. And I don't mean to like down talk anybody or to downplay anybody's, anything, but at that point I was like, let's name one staff sergeant that is doing what I'm doing right now. Name one staff sergeant that has as many troops as me. Name somebody that is going to school, that is on 3 different programs, is still volunteering. Even now, like with the new EPR, EPB system, that volunteering doesn't necessarily like go on your EPB. Like, it doesn't even count anymore. There's like no spot for it really. Even after the fact that doesn't count, and I'm still volunteering because it's something that I signed up for previously that I'm not just going to throw away just because it doesn't count. Like, I was asked to do something, and I was asked to take something over. I'm not just going to quit on it. Who's also has a lack of knowledge that I had on the jet, that's actively trying to learn, this job and learn production. I was like, name one staff sergeant that is doing that right now. You can't. You couldn't. And I think that's why it was so hard for me, because they kept piling on things onto my plate, and I was just getting super, super overwhelmed. And I didn't feel like I would be an adequate supervisor, even though I didn't have a choice. I just felt like I wasn't going to be an adequate supervisor because I did not have the knowledge. I didn't feel like I had the knowledge or the capability to supervise someone and to tell somebody, you know, anything, because I didn't feel like I knew anything to teach or to tell or anything like that. Another point that I want to address is probably the most hurtful part of it. And that is certain people in my shop. They've been on this jet for a long time or just been in LO for a long time. You know, not even just a senior airman. There's certain, you know, staffs and techs and, you know, whatever that just feel that they don't get the respect that they feel that they deserve, right? And so they kind of take it out on people who, like me, who care too much, who are easy targets because we're new to this. We don't know a whole lot. They believe they know everything, absolutely everything, and they down talk the people that they feel like are respected more than them, or are just more like than them, or like, I don't know what their problem is, but basically, I've had certain ones pull me aside and tell me that as a staff sergeant, I need to be better. That I basically suck. They've told me that I don't need to, you know, be a supervisor. I don't deserve to make staff. They've told me that I need to be deserted and this and that I'm not good at this job. At one point, like, they were trash talking me in a group chat. Like, there was a whole group chat that they were basically saying that I ain't this and that, and I don't know anything. I don't know this job. And it's like, yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you guys is I don't know this job. Help. Like, I'm asking for help. I don't think that they want a solution. I think that they just want to feel like they're above me or above whoever. They've been here the longest. They feel like they deserve staff because they know this job in and out. They know everything about this jet and blah, blah, blah. And I kind of just feel like if you think that knowing this job is the sole reason why you deserve to make staff or to get promoted to whatever rank, you are dead wrong. And it takes a lot more to be a good staff or a good supervisor than just knowing the job. And I don't think that they realize how much their words really did affect me and how hurtful their words were, because everything they said about me got back to me somehow. And I really took it personal. I took it very personal. And I've never told anyone this, and this is probably the most vulnerable thing I will say on this internet at this time, but it really affected me because these were things that I was hearing every single day about how terrible I am, how much I didn't know anything, and all that other stuff. But it got so bad to the point to where, like, I did not want to be on this earth anymore, to put it in the most, like, you understand what I'm saying. I say all that to say that their words really did hurt me and it really did affect me. And at this point, through all of the trash talking, through all of the belittling that I've had to deal with for the past year, I feel like my heart is so calloused to everything. But at this point now, I feel like I'm pretty much done. I do not want to do this anymore. I feel like with everything that they were putting on me and everything that I was trying to do, I felt like I was literally drowning. And like they were just pouring more water on top of me, and I'm trying to climb out. I'm trying to get like whatever, but I just felt like I was drowning and I was just getting suffocated because I still don't feel like I'm where I need to be as a staff sergeant. And I don't know. I just don't believe I'm supposed to be here. Like, I don't feel like my purpose is here. I feel like I'm too far gone, honestly, and I've given up at this point. And I hate that I let certain individuals get the best of me, but as of now, I'm saying y'all won. Y'all won. I've given up trying to be better, trying to learn, trying to whatever. You know, it's not every base, it's not every shop. Let me just clarify that. I feel like I made staff way too early, and maybe that's true. Maybe it's partially not, and I just maybe wasn't trained up properly, but I just feel like as of right now, like I'm drowning and I need to get out. And the option to dealing with this is to change career fields or attempt to. And at this point, if I cannot retrain, I will be getting out of the military. Mentally, that's just where I'm at. Emotionally, I'm drained. I'm done trying to fight for, you know, a spot at the table, at the LO table. I'm done. I felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to. I didn't feel like anyone else was going through this. I didn't feel like anyone else was, you know, understanding. And it's like, where's your supervisor? Why didn't you go to your supervisor? I did. But I kind of feel like in this day and age, at least in the Air Force, maybe just in my shop, I just feel like everybody has something going on. Everyone has, you know, some issues in their lives. And I don't think that anybody truly cares about what you're going through. And it sucks to the fact of, you know, we had somebody commit suicide in our shop. And the very next day, everybody went back to work as if nothing happened. Nobody cares and makes a big deal out of something until it's too late. And I don't like that. So, and I'm not wishing this, I'm not hoping for this, but I can confidently say that the way that things are going, and from what I've seen and the things that I've heard, suicide is going to happen again. It is going to happen again. Knock on wood, I pray it doesn't. But if something doesn't change, if something isn't done, it's going to happen again. And I really hate that. Our job is not hard. Let me just say that. Our job is not hard, but being thrown into it, not being properly trained, it's been a struggle. I'll say that much. It has honestly been a struggle. So I hope I didn't discourage anyone. I hope I didn't discourage anyone from, you know, this career field or wanting to come to this base or anything like that. That is not my intention for making this video. It was just kind of to give you guys an update on what I've been going through for the past year. To be honest, I feel like now, like all of this aside, like all the work stuff aside, this is genuinely the happiest I've ever been. Like now, since I'm off production and they put me in support, they put me in tool crib, girl, I'm chilling. Okay, I'm the happiest girl I have ever been in my whole entire life. Okay, to the point to where I go to work and people say that I am glowing. Okay, and that they like this new, you know, attitude that I have. But that just goes to show, removing myself or being removed from toxicity, it'll change your whole outlook. It'll change your whole, like, it'll put a little pep in your step. You know what I mean? And that's how that's the confirmation that I feel like I needed to see that I need to leave this job. Like, I just need to leave. And hopefully, you know, if anyone at my next base, oh yeah, I may or may not have gotten orders to PCS in a couple months, but I'm gonna hold off on telling you guys where I'm going. But hopefully, you know, nobody on my next base watches this video, because whoops. Anyways, but I don't know. I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. Every other aspect in my life is good, like A+, except for my work life. But yeah, hopefully at this point in time, you know, my life will have made a complete 180, and hopefully by, you know, a year from now, I will be happy and I'll be able to give another update. So I know this video is being posted pretty late because that video that you guys watched in the beginning was, I made that video, I think it was April 4th, 2023. And you're probably seeing this in May because I've been holding it off, and I wasn't sure, you know, when I wanted to post it or what I wanted to say or anything like that. So all of this is kind of just on a whim and me rambling. But yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm a lot happier now. Like, now I'm good. Now I'm good, girl. Don't worry about me. I am wonderful these days. And yeah, I'm officially back on YouTube. So I'm not saying I'm gonna post every week now. Let's slow down, that's kind of a lot. But I am planning to post a lot more frequently on this channel. So if you guys would like to keep up with me, don't forget to follow me on social media that I have listed in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching and still being subscribed to me after a year-long hiatus. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you guys in the next one.